In a grim escalation of domestic warfare, the USA officially reactivates the 713th Flame-Throwing Battalion. Specialized operators, encased in thermal protective suits, begin deploying alongside armored columns in Florida. The mandate is absolute: the complete incineration of hive clusters and the sanitization of the Floridian Peninsula. Modernized napalm systems are unleashed upon the dense, decayed masses, clogging the urban corridors of Miami and Orlando. This marks the first official use of large-scale scorched earth tactics on American soil since the outbreak began. Up north, the USA orders a massive tactical mobilization into the Great Lakes region. The 3rd Armored Brigade, USMC elements, and the 2nd Armored Brigade Combat Team of the 3rd Infantry Division spearhead the assault. Supported by overwhelming close air support, these heavy units begin clearing industrial hubs to reboot the severed supply lines. Canadian forces from the Ontario Peninsula begin a coordinated movement to link with American perimeters, creating a unified human front against the northern hordes. In the continent of South America, Brazil faces a total breakdown of its interior defenses. The infection from the Sao Paulo meat grinder has followed the river networks deep into the rainforest. Amazonas and Para report that military outposts have been overrun by sprinters moving through the canopy. The Brazilian government's retreat to Brasilia has left the northern states isolated, leading to the emergence of localized warlord enclaves among the remaining military garrisons. Meanwhile, in Europe, the loss of the Nordrhein-Westfalen labs has turned Central Europe into a dark zone. Without the hope of the Rhine Pact, German morale tanked. The infected masses, now largely decayed, have formed a stagnant but impenetrable wall of flesh across the Rhine. Bavaria remains the last bastion of the German state, but horde adaptation is observed as the undead begin to instinctively avoid the mountain passes, instead pooling in the valleys to starve out the remaining human defenders. In Pakistan, the infection has reached the megacity of Karachi. The chain reaction mechanic triggers as the dense urban poor are consumed within hours. The Pakistani military's attempt to use tactical strikes to clear the slums fails, merely creating toxic runoff zones that complicate refugee evacuation. Sindh is declared a total loss, and the zombie faction now threatens the entire Arabian Sea coastline, further imperiling any surviving maritime trade in the Indian Ocean. Up north, reports from Russia suggest that the zombie faction in Moscow has begun to display collective instinct. The undead are no longer wandering aimlessly. They are being directed by a crude swarm intelligence to expand the subway hives. As the human government remains in Yekaterinburg, the European part of Russia is becoming a spawning ground for trackers and stalkers, making any future reclamation of the capital nearly impossible without massive heavy weapon deployment. The joint USA-Canada offensive sees its first major victory as the 3rd Armored Brigade secures the vital transit hubs around Detroit. By linking with Canadian units from Ontario, the Fortress America perimeters have effectively cut the northern megahorde in two. While the cities remain high infection zones, the secure rail lines allow for the first movement of bulk resources in months. Following the 3rd Armored Brigade's success, the 713th Flame-Throwing Battalion also made significant gains in northern Florida, successfully clearing the outskirts of Jacksonville. The use of napalm has proven highly effective against the decayed variant, which lacks the cognitive capacity to retreat from the intense heat. However, the environmental cost is staggering. Massive wildfires now rage across the Panhandle, and the smoke plumes are visible from the filter camps as far north as Georgia. In the west, among the silence of Area 51, researchers at Project Restoration achieve a critical milestone. By analyzing the sprinter specimen, they have identified the specific viral protein responsible for the rapid hijacking of the motor cortex. While a cure remains distant, this data allows for the first prototype of a reanimation delay serum. The administration must now decide how to deploy this limited resource, to keep the military effective on the front lines, or to provide hope to the millions in the filter camps.